Whole CEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in weight loss, mindset, and business. Learn our top tips to set you up for success so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, and feel unstoppable. He's the king of finance, and he created a course called Rock Your Retirement. People love it so much they can't get enough. Damon King, I want to welcome you to
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I really want to jump into it right away and talk about some of your fun stories and mindset, because you have the best personality. And why don't you talk about how we're taught that success is a scarce resource and it's not.
Let me tell you something, Lisa. This is one of my pet peeves, okay? First of all, we have a real problem in this country. We don't want to talk about money, right? And we're taught that money is a taboo subject. And I talk to families and parents all the time, and they complain about their kids. My kids are irresponsible. Nah. And I'm like, well, did you teach your kids about money? Well, we didn't talk about money. Then in what world are your kids going to just magically know how to handle their money, the money that you leave them, when you never talked about money? That's one problem. But then the other problem is we have so many people that adopt this mentality that success is a scarce resource, like gold. There's only so much in the world, and the privileged few get to have it. And I just, it reminds me of when I was a kid, and the mall walkers, the people that go to the local mall in the morning, they walk around the mall for exercise, okay?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I did that with my mom and my grandma at the local shopping mall. And there was a department store there that was kind of like the high-end department store. And I would pass by it, and my mom would say, "Oh, we don't go in there. That's where the rich people shop. We don't do that," And I'm like, why can't we go in there? And my own mom kind of taught me that there are the people who can afford things, and then there are people who can't afford things. And I don't believe that anymore, certainly not anymore. Success is not a scarce resource. It is something that everybody can have. Now, it takes work.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you know that as a business owner, and and everything.
It's not a straight shot up either.
Right. There's going to be failure along the way, but to me, failure is simply you figured out something that doesn't work, so now let's go try something else. So
I figured out a lot of those things, but I love that you brought that up about scarcity, because that really gets into the deep subconscious beliefs that a lot of us have about money, how they came from your family, talking about the haves and the haves not.
That's where you learn your first habits about money. And not just money, but just life in general. And, if you are, those of you who are listening to this and you got your own kids, don't teach them that success is a scarce resource. If they have an idea, acknowledge, it's going to take work to get that, but you can do it. If you have the desire and you're willing to put the time into it, you know what? If you prove to me, I tell my own kids this all the time. My oldest son loves drawing. And he wants to start his own comic book company. He's 9 years old, okay?
Right.
And he wants to start his own comic book company. I didn't say, that's a stupid idea. No one's going to want comic books. You need to get a real job. I say, you know what? If you develop your skills as an artist and you want to do that, at some point you prove to me that you're willing to go the extra mile. I might even invest my own money to help your dream become reality. But you're going to have to prove to me that you're willing to do it. That's the thing, is that if you tell kids that things are possible, but with enough hard work, they'll surprise you a lot of times.
I love that, because I've heard some of the most successful people discuss how they became successful, even Kobe Bryant, who I loved. And he was talking about how his parents believed in him.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't any good at basketball, they're like, you can do anything you want. And I wish more parents had been like that.
Yeah. And so willing, so long as you're willing to work hard for it. That, to me, that's the key. It's like, look, no matter how hard I try, at 5'11", I was never going to be an NBA basketball player. Okay? I didn't win the genetics lottery in that, but pretty much anything else, if you're willing to sacrifice, make some sacrifices and work hard, Yeah, you can make pretty much any of your dreams become reality. And that's where people fall short. They say, you can be anything you want. And they stop right there. You got to go that next step to say, so long as you're willing to work hard for it.
Oh, I love that you keep getting back to the hard work. That's so important. And I know that financially you can help people with their wealth and their success
Yeah.
plans, but what about mentally and spiritually and physically? Like, how does that whole holistic health and success tie in together?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is, if you want to become wealthy, all right, and wealthy is different for different people, right? I mean, some people say, if I have $1 million, I'm wealthy. If Oprah
Right.
Winfrey says, I have $1 million, she thinks, what the hell just happened? I lost all my money. I mean, so
Perspective.
right, wealthy is different for different people. But here's the way I look at it. What is your mindset about money? And the story that I like to tell in my classes when I teach, because I teach a class called Rock Your Retirement, and we go over the 5 key areas of retirement planning. But I don't just talk about Social Security and Medicare. I mean, we talk about those, but it's also a mindset. So I tell this story. You're driving down the road one day and you see this beautiful home, and it's your dream home. If you could build a home for yourself, that's the house you would build. And then you see it's for sale. So you pull up to the little for sale sign, you grab the little brochure, and you see, wow, man, this is amazing. This is my dream home. And then you see the price tag and it says $5 million. At that moment, what is your thought? Do you think, oh, I could never afford that? Or do you think, what do I have to do to afford that? Those are two very different mentalities. One completely shuts the door on even the possibility. The other one leaves it open, even if it's just a tiny crack. Maybe you can't actually afford that right now, but if you shop for things that are way outside your price range, one of my people that I really love following and reading is Grant Cardone, and he talks about this a lot, where he says, shop for things outside your price range, because even if you can't afford it now, in your mind, you leave it open as a possibility, and that's all I'm talking about.
I
Leave all
love
these
that.
things open as possibilities, and you will find some way. Even if you don't get here, you might get here, because that's a lot better than here. You know. So
So, no, I love that. And what trait do you think that all successful millionaires and billionaires have in common?
Really it starts with lifestyle habits. People think, oh, I need to know how to invest really well, or I need to know everything about the tax code, or I need to know how to invest in real estate or run a business. Those things help, okay? But there's this really great book. It's called Rich Habits. I think it's called Rich Habits, Lifestyle Habits of the Super Wealthy or something. And it was written by a guy named Thomas Corley, okay? And
Okay.
he did this study, and I think it was a 5-year study, and he studied hundreds of people. And what he found was that people who are millionaires, wealthy people, they exhibit similar lifestyle habits. It didn't have anything to do with what they knew about money. They were lifestyle habits. And so here's some of the ones that he came up with. All right. For example, 62% of millionaires focus on their goals every day, and they actually write them down. Because when you write your goals down, you've made more of a mental contract with yourself that you've got to get that done. Okay. 67%. Now, here's one that's going to kill a lot of people. 67% of wealthy people, of millionaires, watch less than 1 hour of television per day. Okay. They
Right.
don't, they're not
They
spending
don't
all
have
their
time
time.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. And what they watch least is reality television, which I found kind
Good.
of interesting. 88% of millionaires read for pleasure for at least 30 minutes per day. And typically, what they're reading are nonfiction self improvement books. Um, 57, now here's another one. These kind of go together. So this goes into taking care of your body. 57% of millionaires count their calories every day. They take care of their body, they watch their waistline, and 62% of them floss their teeth every day, and they get their teeth cleaned at least twice per year. These are things, Lisa, that anybody can do. It's all about taking care of your body, because it's hard to earn money and build wealth if you're sick all the time.
Right.
And it's hard to
100%.
win friends. It's hard to win friends and influence people if you're not confident to smile because you feel bad about your teeth, things like that. So I'm a big believer in stop worrying about what you don't know about money and start focusing on what you can control, lifestyle choices that play a huge role in whether you're going to end up wealthy or not.
Well, thank you for those actionable tips. Those are awesome tips because I really want us to look at everything here at Whole CEO as a holistic standpoint of body, mind, and soul, and really
Yeah.
help people bounce back from all the emotional trauma and physical trauma that we've all been through collectively. So can you just tie that in a little bit with spirituality, and how does that tie in?
Yeah, and people watching this, they're all faith traditions, okay, of people watching this. So this is less about what is your religion, and it's more about what you feed your soul with on a daily basis. It's like with food. If you eat a bunch of junk food, eventually your body's going to feel like junk. You're not going to feel very good. You're going to feel lethargic.
Right.
When you fill your mind and your spirit and your soul with bad news all day long, I mean, we all know there's plenty of bad news to go around. There's no shortage of it.
Right.
But when you fill your mind with it and you get on social media, social media is a wonderful tool for keeping people connected. Hey, we're on a social media platform right here, right?
Absolutely.
But sometimes social media can be garbage. It can be garbage food. It can be junk food. And if you fill
Absolutely.
yourself with that, you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel rotten about your own life. You're going to see the world. Yeah, it has problems that need to be fixed, but it's not all bad. And, sometimes to be able to create wealth, you need to be able to separate yourself from, what's going on with, people being just horrible to each other. You need to separate yourself from the people and the bad influences, the people who are bringing you down. You don't need people bringing you down. You want people lifting you up. And as I say to people all the time, if you have friends who are constantly complaining about life, chances are you're going to complain about life. But if you surround yourself with people who are positive, who have great messages to share, it doesn't mean they don't have problems. It means they choose to focus on the positive. You will probably be the same way. And so it's all about attitude. Attitude will influence your altitude.
I'm so happy you said that. You're like the second person who I've heard say that today, and it's such a great thing. Your attitude will influence your altitude, and you got to be careful of who you surround yourself with, what kind of social media you're allowing yourself to actually take in and news, and
Right.
feeding your mind with positive things and surrounding yourself with positive people. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with about the possible downfalls of the whole digital world?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. There's a movie called Surrogates. Okay, I think it starred Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And what happened was people would go out and buy these robots, okay, and they would plug into them, and they would stay at home. They would go out and live their life through these avatars, okay, and live real life. And they were perfect looking, and they had great hair and great skin, perfect bodies. It was like an Instagram filter come to life, okay, the perfect
I love
version of me. Yeah,
that.
but these people in real life, they were miserable, and they didn't brush their teeth and comb their hair, and they didn't shave, and they walked around in their frumpy clothes all day long. And then when the whole network went down, they had to get out and actually reconnect with one another, and they didn't know how to do it. If you spend all your time living life through a computer screen and you're comparing yourself, and that's a big thing, people compare themselves to other people all the time.
Right.
Stop comparing yourself to what the other person have. I'll never forget one time I was driving through downtown Oklahoma City where I live, I live in Oklahoma City area, and there's a really nice historic neighborhood with $1 million homes. And I was driving by one day many years ago, and I said, man, someday I'm going to have one of those homes. And how do these people afford this? This was before I had my own mindset change. And the guy I was with said, Damon, I know the people that bought that house, and looks can be deceiving. They mortgaged themselves to the hilt for that house. If you go in, there's hardly any furniture. So it has a really nice, crunchy candy coating, but there's no gooey center in the middle, okay?
I love that. It's so cute.
You never know. You never know that the life that this person says they're living, it could be a complete fabrication. So live your life. Live your best life. Focus on you and your family. Stop trying to compare yourself to what other people are doing. And, the people who are in a better position to help really change this world for the better, and God knows we need a lot of positive change right now, the people who do that are the ones that focus on their goals, they get out, they work hard, they amass wealth. It's a lot easier to change the world when you have wealth than when you don't. And that's my whole purpose in life, is to teach, educate, and tell people you can do this. You can do this. It takes effort, but you can do this and you can change the world.
Damon King, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
especially love that ending on a nice note, and getting people away from comparison. And how can people find you?
So the best way to find us is go to chapelwood.com. So that's two P's and one L. And that's on the website for our firm. So I'm an investment advisor, certified financial planner. But when you go there, you can see what we're all about, but you can also find our radio show. We broadcast and host a weekly radio show. We talk about money, we talk about your life and everything, so you can subscribe to our podcast there. You can also go to YouTube and search for the Financial Diva channel, and that is Victoria Woods, who I know
She's
we've interviewed
awesome.
here. Yep, yes, she is. So I work with her. But you go to that channel, you'll see all kinds of great content up there. And, we just like to talk about life, educating you, and how you can live the life you've always dreamed of.
Thank you, Damon. You're awesome.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. It was good to be here.